Okay, maybe now. Coronavirus ending. This is the first one. This is episode 6. Today is May the 30th. The year is 2020. It seems the virus has subsided in our land of plenty. We finally are set free, but we have rules we must observe. A lot of crazy do's and don'ts, and some we don't deserve. Not all the states are equally demanding certain rules, and some are very lenient, presuming we're not fools. The plan is that with diligence, we're going to weather through it. Our scientists are searching for a vaccine that will do it. So patience is the path to take. We've been through so much worse. The road is kind of bumpy now, but this is not a curse. So listen to the folks in charge and hear what they are saying. And through it all, remember, you must also keep on praying. Keep praying. Okay, now we've had a word of the day for 4 days. And this is the word of today, and it's if. Very little word, but ooh. Let's talk about a word today related to conditions. A word that helps us out because it questions our submissions. Let's talk about the reasons that we use this word so much. It lets us get away with things with such a softer touch. Sometimes it's hard to just say no. Some people need a reason. Of course, you can make up a lie, but that will feel like treason. Let's say a friend invites you to a big old shopping spree. Just say, I'll check my calendar. I'll see if I am free. Of course, we use if frequently. It gets us off the hook. You'd host a lovely dinner if you knew how to cook. And if you're buying gift cards for family or for friends, you never need to wrap them, and some you simply send. If you could lose some weight, you'd probably feel much better. And if you had a fenced-in yard, you could buy an Irish setter. But if you have a huge garage, you'll fill it up with clutter. Guilty. And golf would be a better game if you just had a brand new putter. That's a golfer's excuse. And then there are the what ifs, those things we should have done. What if we played the lottery? We maybe could have won. What if we went to college and earned a great degree? We could be in the chips today and living life debt-free. What if you played the market and bought a lot of stock? What if you bought a summer home? What if you had a dock? What if your back would never hurt? You'd probably do more crunches. And if you liked a vegetable, you'd devour them all at lunches. I think that if's a cop-out, a need to be excused, and if you use it frequently, it's probably abused. But if your life is miserable, quit blaming it on others, and you are just a jerk if you blame it on your mothers. So if you think we've made some sense, just chalk it up to fate. And if you want a joyful life, diminish all your hate. You can't have a joyful life if you're hateful. If you believe that life is short, if you avoid the strife, you'll find yourself a happy place to last you all your life. And that's if, and as I thought about that word, that's an excuse maker. Okay. Ooh, this next one is called Our Government. Our government's so big today, employing so many folks. And through the years, I bet you've heard a lot of Congress jokes. We've had a lot of presidents. We're up to 45. And something's quite amazing. There still are 5 alive. I bet that's the first time that it's ever happened. We've had a lot of good ones, but some were just blasé. Then some were kind of superstars, and lots were just okay. Our founders made so many rules, they thought they had it covered. But over all these years, the need for more has been discovered. And it goes on and on. And over all the years, our country fought. Oh no, that's a throwout thing. In 1861, our country had a civil war. The now North and South fought bitterly, our saddest days by far. The war was over slavery. The South fought to preserve it. The North fought hard to free the slaves. They thought they deserved it. The war was very costly, and finally they decided an income tax was needed, even though they were divided. They had to purchase weapons, uniforms, feed the men. The volunteers were awful paid, although not much back then. And when the war was over, the tax remained, although the people didn't like it and they knew that it would grow, but they had no idea just how high that tax would get. If they returned today, I bet they all would have a fit. There is a 3-step method to raising income tax. Step 1 is if it moves, we're going to tax it to the max. Step 2, if it keeps moving, regulate it down to size. Step 3, if it stops moving, that's the time we subsidize. And that's why I wrote this poem, because I saw this 3-step thing. And I thought, just how did all this happen? Where do I place the blame? We know there are 2 certain things in life that are the same. The first thing that we know for sure, we all are going to die. And number 2, we can't avoid our taxes. And here's why. Our federal government is huge, employing 500,000. I guess we should be grateful that it isn't 500 million. And then we know the cities and the states have taxes too. With 50 states, I bet that total would astonish you. We live in a republic. It's not a democracy. That means we're ruled by law, and very happy we are free. We're living in a country, the best one on this earth. And on July the 4th, we celebrate our country's birth. Our country has had problems. We've had a lot of plight. But we're still working very hard to try to make things right. We all must learn to compromise. We know that it's a must. And all our leaders must remember it's in God we trust. And remember, I told you about Dolly Parton wrote that song, In God We Still Trust. That's the name of the song. It's beautiful. Okay, next one we have is no regrets, just do it. The Nike shoes, that's their theme, is just do it. Life is very short for some, but longer for some others. Most of us outlive our dads and usually our mothers. Both of them helped us decide what kind of life to live. Should it be a pious one? And should we learn to give? Maybe we will marry and raise a family, or we could stay single and live life happily. In our youth, deciding where and what we were to do, figuring the whole thing out was hard for me and you. Then one day you may discover you've ignored an urge, something deep inside of you just longing to emerge. Maybe you had thoughts and dreams of running in a race, entering a marathon, with no intent to place. Just enter it and say you ran a marathon. I mean, why not? Climbing up Mount Everest, now that's a little tense. Choose a task that's feasible. Use some common sense. Maybe you have always yearned to write a book or two. Maybe singing in karaoke would be good for you. Or you thought of going back to school for a degree. When and if the time is right, just do so eagerly. Is there a yearning you've ignored and think you're not up to it? Are you afraid you won't succeed? Is that why you won't do it? Everyone, just face the facts. It never is too late. It isn't like a holiday. It doesn't have a date. There is no certain time in life for you to take a stance. It's something that we all control. We just missed take a chance. And failure is an option, but never was a sin. It only makes you stronger. Get up and try again. And do it all with this in mind. You have one life to live. Live it well, accept your lot, but also you must give. I'm really big on giving. You know, not everybody can give, but a lot of people just have extra money laying around. And if you don't give money, you can always give time, because they're always looking for people to do Meals on Wheels or take care of little kids. Or there's always something for you to do. So give of your time or give of your money. Ooh, next one. Money can't buy you love. Speaking of money. Money can't buy you love. That's the title of a song. People do believe that, but some folks think that's wrong. There are people who desire all things that money can buy. Girls, I hope you're listening. It's hard to find that guy. A guy that really doesn't care how much his wife is spending. To him, she is a showcase. That's the message they are sending. That they desire the very best, and yes, they can't afford it. They like to spend their money. Why would they want to hoard it? They probably worked very hard to get to where they're at, and they deserve a lot of perks, like an aristocrat. But flaunting their positions, what is it they are needing? Is it to make folks jealous? Or is it in their breeding? Money is important. You need to pay your bills. And then when you get older, you have to buy your pills. Some folks make a lot of money. Some folks not so much. Then there are investors that have the golden touch. Do you want a Cadillac, Mercedes, or an Audi? How about a Chevy? Or is that just too dowdy? Do you have a swimming pool, a hot tub, and a yacht? Is your character defined by things that you have got? If you are so fortunate to have a lot of wealth, I hope that you are very blessed with family and good health. But also you should think about donating to the poor, the many so unfortunate who need a little more. So if you'd rather spend your cash on things that you can see, read the Bible in Matthew chapter 19, verse 23. That's a Bible test. It tells you very bluntly that heaven can't be bought. So read it very carefully and give it lots of thought. But if you do appreciate the wealth that you have earned, I hope that spreading some around is something you have learned. But also giving time and working for a greater cause is something very generous, and it deserves applause. I hope you don't get the wrong impression from this verse. And if you have a lot of money, it is not a curse. It's good to help the sick and poor monetarily. And when you get to heaven, I'm sure Jesus will agree. read that verse. The last one for today is called My Kitchen. And a dear friend of mine, Nancy Wessel, she is also a writer and a poet, and she told me that she had written this poem about the kitchen, and I said, oh my gosh, I got one too. And it goes like this. My kitchen has many appliances, and some I use a lot. There's one that I use every day, and that's my coffee pot. I also have a microwave. I bought it years ago. I think I need a new one. This one is kind of slow. I also have a mixer I haven't used in years. It was a wedding present. I think it came from Sears. My toaster's in a cabinet. I put it way up high. But that's okay. We don't eat bread. Someday I'll tell you why. I also have a brand new fridge. The other one just died. And yes, I have a microwave. It isn't very wide. I couldn't put a turkey in it, but it serves its purpose. And then I also have a stove. Above it there are fans. It also has an oven, and that's where I keep my pans. A lot of people do that. I think we got it from our mothers. You know, there's just the big pans I keep in the oven, and then when I use the oven, I got to take the pans out. And then there's all my glasses. There's barely two that match. It seems I'm always dropping them. They're very hard to catch. Then there's my kitchen table, the gathering place for all. Sometimes we have so many, they're standing in the hall. I even have a plaque on the wall, a present from a friend. Kitchens are made to bring families together. A wonderful message to send. And on the other wall, you'll see a plaque, bought by my spouse. The only reason I have a kitchen is because it came with a house. Now, that's just in the later years. I used to do a lot of cooking. I had all those kids, and I had a cook, and okay. So there's two reasons for a kitchen. One is to gather and meet. The other simply is a place to gather and eat. Okay, and that's all we're going to do today. And we'll have number 7 coming up soon. Okay, I want to stop this recording now. Ooh, boom.